For years, people talked about traditional marketing versus digital marketing like they were two completely separate worlds. But here's the thing, that wall has totally crumbled. Today, we're going to talk about what replaced it, something way, way more powerful. Let's get into it. Seriously, think about it for a sec. How'd you buy your last phone? Maybe you saw a TV ad, then you jumped online, read a bunch of reviews, right? Then you went to an actual store to get a feel for it, and then, and this is the key part, you probably pulled out your phone and ordered it from some app to get a better deal. Sound familiar? Yep. If you've done that, you've already experienced what we're talking about today. So how do we get here? How did these two worlds collide? Well, it all starts with understanding what those two separate universes even were in the first place. All right, so on one side, you've got your traditional marketing. Think of it like a giant megaphone. The goal was always to cast the widest net possible for pure massive brand awareness. But then, on the other side, you have digital. Digital was more like a laser pointer, all about precision, targeting very specific people and building these little online communities. Totally different philosophies, right? And yeah, their cool kits were completely different. Traditional was all about those big, flashy TV commercials, those glossy magazine ads, the giant billboards on the highway. The digital world? Well, that gave us things like SEO, social media campaigns, and influencer marketing. And for the longest time, companies treated them like oil and water. They had separate budgets, separate teams, even separate strategies. They just didn't mix. But here's the thing. That separation is just over. It's ancient history. The single most important truth about marketing today is that success isn't about picking a side anymore. It's about blending them together, about mastering the art of integration to create one totally seamless experience for the customer. Now, you might think this is all because of fancy new tech, right? But it's not. The real reason this is happening is because of a massive shift in power, away from the brands and directly into the hands of us, the consumers. And this is the heart of what the experts call Marketing 4.0. And this idea really nails it. Think about it. That big top-down message from some giant corporation, it just doesn't land the same way it used to. What really matters now? It's what your friends are saying, what your family thinks, what that online community you're a part of is recommending. The whole center of gravity for trust, it's completely shifted. And that brings us to the first big rule of this new game, horizontal marketing. It's a fancy term, but the idea is super simple. Influence doesn't just flow down from a brand anymore. It moves sideways, from person to person. A recommendation from a friend is hands down the most powerful ad on the planet today. Okay, rule number 2, inclusive marketing. Look, the world today is incredibly diverse, right? The brands that are winning get this. They know they can't just have one message for one type of person. They have to genuinely, authentically connect with and represent everyone. People from all different cultures, all different age groups, all different backgrounds. And that leads us to rule number 3, social marketing. And let's be clear, this is not just about posting pretty pictures on Instagram. We're talking about building a real community, a tribe. It's about turning your customers into your most passionate fans and advocates. They're not just buying a thing, they feel like they're joining a movement. So, okay, we've got these 3 new rules: horizontal, inclusive, and social. Sounds good in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's trace the journey of a modern customer to see how it all fits together. First off, forget the idea of a straight line. The modern customer journey is a winding path. It might start with discovery. Maybe a friend mentions something or you see an ad. Then it almost always jumps to research online. You're reading reviews, watching videos, comparing prices. And finally, the purchase? That could happen literally anywhere. In a physical store, on your laptop at home, or on your phone while you're waiting for a coffee. It's this constant, fluid dance between the physical and digital worlds. And this messy, blended journey has given rise to some really interesting new habits, probably one you've done yourself. It's a behavior we call showrooming. You know exactly what this is, even if you don't know the name. It's when you go to a brick-and-mortar store to check out a product in person. You want to see it, touch it, maybe try it on. You confirm the quality, make sure it's what you want, and then you pull out your phone and buy it online, probably because you found a better price or just want it delivered. That right there is the perfect example of this new omni-channel world in action. So to really see how a huge global company puts all these pieces together, let's take a look at a brand that has absolutely nailed this integrated approach: Emirates Airlines. Okay, let's break this down. Look at global visibility. On the traditional side, they sponsor massive events like Formula One. You can't get more traditional than that. But at the same time, they're collaborating with digital travel influencers. See how they work together? Or think about the premium experience. They have these amazing, luxurious physical airport lounges, but they also have a super smooth, easy-to-use mobile app. Finally,
Brand advocacy. They thrive on classic word of mouth, but they actively fuel it online by encouraging people to share photos with hashtags. The key thing to see here is that for every single goal, they have a traditional pillar and a digital pillar, and they're both holding up the same roof. They're working in perfect harmony.
And when you step back, it's clear why this works so well for them. Their marketing is basically a mirror of who their customers are: global, diverse, and always connected. They're hitting all those new rules we talked about, practicing inclusive marketing in their ads and building that social community with real, authentic content from their own passengers.
And this really brings us to the main point, the single most important takeaway from all of this. The debate is over. It's not about traditional versus digital anymore. It's about one thing: creating a single, consistent, and totally seamless customer experience, no matter where or how they interact with you.
So, I'm going to leave you with a little homework. As you go about your week, just pay attention. Which brands in your own life are getting this right? Who makes you feel like they get you, like they understand your journey, both online and offline? I think if you really look for it, the answers are going to surprise you. Thanks for joining me.